Creepers and Geekers Chris, the Retro Creep. How is everyone doing today? I'm pretty excited about today's video because a company has entrusted me with their product to speak upon. Why me? I don't know. I might be the last person on the planet that would be, I guess, a reasonable request to review such an item. However, I have been able to make these function within my world, and we'll get to that here in a minute. A company called Gamrombo reached out to me via email. Here it is on the screen, saying, hey, we do PS5 and Switch controllers, and we'd like to send you out a sample. We like what you do, blah, blah, blah. You can read it there. And they said I could say whatever I want. The video can only be a couple of minutes if I really wanted to do it that way. And I said, you know what, sure, if I don't have to stick to any kind of script and I'm under no obligation, and if you want them back, you pay for the shipping back. And they agreed to just send me out a controller. So I don't have a PS5, so I opted for the Switch controller. And little did I know I was going to be getting two of them. So here I am thinking I'm special, and I looked these up. They mainly sell through Amazon. It comes as a pair. It comes as a pair. I'll put all the stuff on the screen and down below. The only catch to this is when I went to look that up before making this video, there weren't any available on Amazon. So I don't know if they're coming back or not, or what the story is, but regardless, they were kind enough to send them out to me. Me and the girls gave them their day in court over the course of the past, I don't know, week or so. They used them on the Switch. I used it on the laptop in the last couple of live streams, and, you know, privately, just playing games and enjoying them on my own. I emulated NES, the Master System, and some SG-1000, as well as, of course, Atari 2600 games. And we'll get to all that here in a minute. So when I received mine, they came in a brown, a little nondescriptive brown box with a piece of foam in between that were molded to the faces of these. So they didn't clank around, and they were in a bubble bag, a little bubble pop bag. It also came with a USB cord for each. They are USB-C, and it came with a real simple document here on how to play around with it. It is intended for the Switch initially, but it will connect to PC, and I have done that. And, you know, I probably should have done this beforehand, but I'm curious if, you know, because it's hooked up to my PC, if my Atari VCS will accept it as well under Bluetooth circumstances. So I will absolutely, and I didn't have to connect. Bluetooth actually picked up my PC experience, so not too shabby. Apparently it'll work with your phones too. I don't know if it's Android only or whatever, but it does have vibration function, and you can set how intense it is. And I remember my daughter's like, oh my god, that's intense. I'm like, yeah, leave it like that. I like it. I like it. Other things you can do is you can set like a turbo button, a couple other little things, nothing crazy. They do have some controllers that have light features that you can program to do certain things. Not these ones. The only lights you get are the ones that tell you whether you're connected and your battery. Indicators, just for giggles, to compare it with size, here it is, next to a fucking shark. All joking aside, here it is next to an Xbox One controller. I don't know if you can gauge the size of it. And just for giggles, I brought out the Switch controller I have been using for a while now. It's got a little bit of a compact size to it. It's not too big. It's not too small. The porridge is just right, if you ask me, with this controller. Compared to something like this, obviously this has a little bit more oomph to it, so it's a little more comfortable in my big hands. This one has never been truly comfortable in my hands, though it is a fairly decent controller. So like I said, I let the girls use one of these for the Switch. They mainly played Minecraft, they played Evel Knievel, and a couple other games here and there. Nothing too crazy. I did have them text me their thoughts on it, and I will read them to you here now. The first child says the controller had a nice weight to it. It wasn't too light and it wasn't too heavy, which I agree with. Thumbsticks didn't feel jammed up or too loose, and the buttons were easy to press without feeling like they were loose or anything like that. They had a good response. My other daughter says the controller had a good weight to it and felt solid. The thumbsticks were smooth, but were a little tall for my small hands. The buttons feel easy to press. Overall, it would be great for someone with bigger hands. And you know what? I suppose I could agree with that as well. She is a tinier person. Give you an idea of how tall these things are. You know what? In hindsight, because I don't use thumbsticks, they do feel like they're a little higher than, let me bring back my Pro controller. Yeah, actually, it is a visual notice there, or you know what I mean. You can see it. You can see it. There is a height to it. Interesting. Kind of wish I'd read that beforehand so I could be prepared to talk about it. But even with the Xbox One controller, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, she is 100% correct on that. So thumbsticks are a little high. As far as my experience is concerned, the controller has a solid feel. There's not much flexibility to the plastic. This isn't like a rubberized, it's the texture of the plastic itself. Pay no mind to this. This just signified that this is the one I was using. I'll bring this one over here so you can see what's actually on the back of these. It has a decent feel in the hand. It definitely feels like a budget controller, but it doesn't feel cheap, if that makes any sense whatsoever. In fact, it almost feels a little more solid than my Easy SMX controller. And this is a pretty solid controller as well. But it tends to have a little bit more of a heft than you would get with, say, that red and white Mario plug only Switch controller I used to use on the live streams. Looking at the face of it, you could definitely tell it has a little bit of signatures of a cheaper controller. But the buttons have a good tactile feel. They're not too mushy. I didn't notice any lag, and if I were to give this any kind of a negative criticism, it's the D-pad. The D-pad just doesn't seem to have enough lift like the thumbsticks do, you know? You could definitely feel where you're at, but I would have liked the edges to have a little bit more height, or even just the D-pad itself to be a little bit more raised, a little more proud of the face of the surface. But if you've been watching the past 2 or 3 streams, I've mentioned that, and I've gotten by no problem. When it came to like platforming games, it took a little bit to kind of, adjust to it, compared to say something like this, which the D-pad absolutely is proud of the surface. But after I got a little bit of muscle memory going, it really wasn't much of a problem at all. I'm going handheld because I'm editing the video and I realized I didn't mention anything about the trigger or the Z buttons or what the R and L and whatever these are. I will say that these buttons here definitely have a feel of, a lesser quality controller, but you can definitely tell you're pressing a button. As far as the triggers, I think the triggers might trigger people. I don't think they have what you want in a trigger. I think there's a little bit more push to it than I think most people would like. Though I'm not really the type that would use something like that, but after handling, say, like an actual Xbox One controller, or even some of the old PlayStation dual, triple, whatever the hex, yeah, I will say that these buttons here leave a little bit to be desired. However, I do use it on my Atari as far as, difficulty A and B. You press the button, it does the thing. But honestly, for folks that use the triggers regularly, I think you might be a little lackluster, though they will function just fine. So overall, what are my final thoughts on controllers? I think they're fine, especially for the price. Who are these for? Somebody who wants to have a couple of extra controllers in the house, backups, or if you have friends that come over quite often. And let's face it, a potato with spikes sticking out of it would be better than the Joy-Cons that Switch comes with. I'll die on that hill every day. But they don't truly have much of a cheap feel to them, though you can definitely tell they are not an AAA quality product. But overall, especially for the price, I think they're worth it. Again, if you just need couple of extra controllers laying around, backup. As far as battery time, the girls used theirs for I think a total of maybe 5.5 hours, closer to 6, and there's still juice left in it. So I can't really give you a full battery life situation, but I know I haven't recharged the one I've used, and I've been using it for a week to play Atari, SMS games, and Nintendo. So guys, regardless, if you have one of these, let me know down in the comments. If you like them, here's the model number. I'm going to assume right there. And you can read that again for more information. I'll put a link at the very least to their Switch store. I should say the Amazon store down below. They still sell Wiimotes and 360 controllers. Their Wiimote bundles, like 4 of them for like $40. It's really kind of amazing. I hope they're decent quality. But regardless, guys, I'll put some links down below so you can do something with them. And again, thanks to Gamrombo for sending these out to me. Again, I don't know why me specifically, because I don't do anything modern. But I genuinely do appreciate their trust in my words. And I will say this to anyone who's stuck around this long and hasn't already typed this. When I looked them up before you can get my controllers, I noticed they were sending these out to a lot of smaller YouTubers. Maybe a little bit more subscriber count than I have, but they were mostly smaller YouTubers. So I don't know if that's kind of their deal, and they're trying to either A, also help out smaller YouTubers, get some kind of content and exposure, or if they just feel that that might be their bread and butter, their huckleberry. But either way, I want to thank them for sending them out to me. I've had a good time with them, and I'll continue to use them on my live stream. And if we do end up hooking them up to the VCS, I will absolutely let you know how it works on there. In fact, maybe I'll make a video connecting it, seeing if I can. And if I do, we'll play a game or two and see how it works there. I do have some games on there that would use the thumbsticks. And as a noob or a boob, or an asshole, whatever you want to call me, who doesn't really like the thumbstick job, I can give you my thoughts on that. So guys, wherever in the world you are, I hope you're doing well. Until next time, take care, keep it real, and bye-bye.